And here we are. This is the new command center, the ECoS command station they call it, and a very nice swanky piece of kit it is too, I have to say. It's as you probably know, most of the engines I have are equipped with lock sound decoders, speakers, so this this is a lock sound product as well. It all marries up very well and makes the engines, you can't see a slight difference. The engines do run a bit smoother, and this piece of kit is going to allow me to open up a whole new sort of world, in such as I'll be able to alter all the CVs, speed steps, and I can alter the sounds, and it just makes, it's going to make life much more easier for controlling things when I'm doing a video, because all I'm using is just my iPhone and a tripod. That's all we've got at the minute, but it does the job, and it just means while I'm doing that, it makes it easier to work the functions, bells, whistles, and all that sort of malarkey. I was using the two Hornby Selects, which were absolutely fine. You know, they were starting to show their age a little bit. The buttons were starting to get a bit sticky, but they're a very good system. You know, £70–80, really good. They do the job. But I just thought I'll upskill a little bit, and it just makes life a little bit easier. As I say, it opens up a whole new world of different sort of things I can do with the engines and sounds. And Lock Sound themselves have a website with a database of diesel and steam engine sound files, so you can get the blank chip and just download your own, and all sorts of things like so that. And they also have a database of sort of, if I sake of argument, I put my class Scotty Dog 37 on, I can download an image of that, put it onto the system, so when I put this train on, the image of that engine comes up on the system as well, which is a nice little touch. That itself doesn't sort of make the engine run any better, but it is a nice little touch, and it makes everything just that little bit more of ease, shall we say. The instruction book is, as per usual with these things, a vast amount of very small print pages, and if anyone's like myself, I'm not really one for sort of sitting reading through page and page of instructions. I just sort of, you know, plug it in, press buttons and see what happens. Not necessarily the best way to do things, but I do have an advantage, whereas I do have a very techie nephew who's very useful at this sort of thing. Always handy to have a techie nephew in tow, I'll find. So we had a quick flick through this instruction booklet, or destruction as I call them, and at first it does look very complicated, but it's not as complicated as it looks. I mean, someone like myself, I'm not a particularly techie person as such. I'm sort of middle age, I'm just getting to grips with modern technology as such, but even I can get my sort of head around this. You know, there was a few features on it, the function features weren't particularly well explained in the instruction booklet, and once again, techie nephew steps in, and all the other YouTubers, I have to say, are very helpful, because you look at some of the other videos and it's much easier to see somebody showing you how to do it than try necessarily to understand this instruction booklet. So if I sort of, that's the screensaver coming in there, if I sort of try and, that's it, scroll up, that's it, panning a little bit, excuse the camera work, there you go. You can see on this side here, there's your functions. These functions are on the A4, obviously there's no lights on this, and what I found was this ECoS only on this side will show you the first 12 functions. Most of the modern engines have at least, you know, 15, 16. My Sutton's got 25, and I couldn't work out how to show in the system where all the other functions were. Again, the instruction booklet wasn't particularly clear, so techie nephew and other YouTubers stepped in, and what I found was, what you have to do, you hit the little spanner button here, if I can get it, and you hit edit local, and you do its thing, and it brings up this first page. There's your address, there's your little icon, and it shows. What I do is you've got two little options here. Use defined image. There's the image you've downloaded yourself. So I've got here class 37 Phoenix. With this little tab here, there is all the rest of my fleet. And if you scroll through, you can see my class 40, my Freightliner, my Northern Belle, my new Intrepid, my Deltic prototype, my other Deltics, my little 22 there, all the rest of my engines. So when it means when I say, if I put an engine on, see this 25 here, this green one, BR blue, put this on the track, it would show up in here, and it's just a nice little touch. It makes things easier when you're putting stuff on. That itself doesn't actually make the engine run any different, in fairness, but it's just a nice little touch, and it does make life a lot easier. If you go into properties, and this was the one I had difficulty with. You have the properties tab here. Here is all your functions, and so you can go through them all. And the beauty with this is you can test them. So I've got the A4 on. That's the engine start, well, the steam start on this. You can test that. And here we have the horns, the whistles I should say. So the beauty with this is once you've tested them, you hit the little tab, brings up all the icons here. And you just scroll through, pick whatever suits whatever particular function you are looking at, touch that function, and you would tick the little green box here, and then you do that with all your functions. And what you do is you just, where I had the difficulty, I couldn't find where the rest of them were. It's page 1 of 8. There's the rest of your functions, and you can match up icons to all your functions. And again, the next page takes up 11, the next page is up to 15, and so on and so on. And once you have allocated a icon to each function and you tick your little box, you go back, it's then they're all in here, and then you get this function here, the function key appears, and that, what it does is allows you to go from the first 12 functions it displays to the rest of your functions, and you can flick between the two tabs. And what I like about this as well, if I go back to edit local and you go to properties and you go here to, I think that's what they call the throttle control, if I can find it. No, that's your maximum speed. There it is. You can click on speed, because it has speed steps or speed, and use miles per hour, and then you click your little check button, go back, and then there you have miles per hour. So when you start that up, it gives you miles per hour. Just another nice little touch. It doesn't really make the engine run any different, but it's all sorts of little things like this, and it just makes the hobby that little bit better. And as I say, there was nothing wrong with the Hornby or even the Gauge Master. I do have a Gauge Master controller which I use to program engines as well, but with this system I can actually program the engines on the track as well. And so there it is. I shall keep you updated as to what new features I find on this, and again thanks to my nephew behind the scenes and all the other sort of YouTubers who put up videos on likes of this, and makes life much easier, much more enjoyable than sitting and reading through a big manual that's really something quite difficult to understand. It's much better to watch somebody actually showing you how they do it. So thanks for that, everybody, and we'll get on with our next little running session, which is the A4. In fairness, this is the only one of two steam engines that I have. I have this one and the Flying Scotsman, which I'm going to get a sound chip for later in the year, and that one will be running. I may be tempted to get another couple of steam engines. Most of the fleet, I have to say, is diesel. I'm a huge diesel fan, as you can all tell, but we'll see. Projects for the rest of this summer: hopefully I want a new gantry in front of the signal box with some lit signals, and I have some new a new bridge coming, laser cut arched bridge, and I want to reballast that part of the layout as well. The front of the layout I'd like to regreen and tidy up a little. In fairness, it is starting to look its age slightly, and I had thought of I would like a tunnel, but I have to be quite honest, I don't think there's room now for a tunnel, tell you the truth. But if anyone has any ideas, please send us a comment. Always open to suggestions, and you know, if anybody has any ideas, please do share them. So anyway, thank you very much everyone, and enjoy the rest of the summer. Hopefully it'll last a little bit longer, but not quite as hot, and we will see you soon. Thanks a lot everybody.